Hey, so today's video is going to be on when and how to get help for an eating disorder. And I'm going to start with when to get help for it. Oh, that's my cuddly toy. One of my multiple cuddly toys. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do my video on today. And I'm sorry about the poor lighting. I'm in my room and it's like, 2 PM. So there's like all the light coming from my windows. My room is appallingly messy, you can't actually really see that, but you can kind of see like all the clothes behind there, not over there, over there. And I'm wearing no makeup. But I'm better than yesterday, where I was literally dying, because I was recovering from Friday night, and I tried to make this video and it was just absolutely horrendous, so I decided I would scrap it and make it today. So yeah, I'm gonna get started. So I think a lot of people have this misconception that you can only get help for an eating disorder when your weight is really low, or you're purging like everything that you eat, or you're exercising to an extent that you're passing out. Basically when it's really, really, really severe, or it's been going on for loads of time and it's become chronic or something like that. And I know that a lot of people feel as if they can't get help unless their weight is like really critically low, and a lot of people feel like it has to meet this weight criteria for anorexia, which is below BMI 17.5, which I think has actually changed in the DSM-5. The previous one before that, you had to be below that BMI, but I'm pretty sure that's changed, and it's just meant to be a significant decrease in weight very rapidly for that person's body. So say some people might have started at BMI 23 and gone down to BMI 20 in a really short period of time, that would be anorexia nervosa. That's how I understand it, but correct me if I'm wrong, it might not actually be like that, but I think that's much better. From personal experience, when I was admitted into hospital for inpatient care in January 2013, I was not below BMI 17.5. I was a bit underweight, but I wasn't, there were a lot of people there who are much more underweight than me, but I was still at incredible physical risk. My mental cognition, my mental health, all that shit was fucked, and I really needed to be in hospital, and for me that was at a critical point, and if I'd got proper help earlier, probably I wouldn't have got to that point, but the problem was that I didn't get that help. I got help from CAMS that just wasn't sufficient, and it just made things worse really. So it made me even more preoccupied with my weight, keeping food diaries, having my weight monitored. It made me even more preoccupied, and it just plunged me into the depths of my eating disorder, and I just got way, way worse. So yeah, I think if you are looking at the symptoms of any of the eating disorders, be it orthorexia, anorexia, bulimia, EDNOS, compulsive overeating, or binge eating disorder, any of those, or any of the others, because I know there are others like pica and stuff like that, if you are looking at those symptoms and you feel like you're meeting some of them, or you feel like you're eating something that you're very preoccupied with, or you're over-exercising, stuff like that, if you're vomiting after eating, or after meals, or after binge, that is a sign that you need to get help. It doesn't really matter how much. If you're doing that, that's not normal at all. And if you're counting calories and restricting your intake severely, that's also not normal. I know a lot of people around you might be dieting and stuff like that, but that doesn't necessarily make it okay. So I think as soon as you see that, or believe that there might be something going on that's more than just a diet, and you're using food, be it restricting, binging, exercise, purging, or whatever, you're using those things to block out feelings or make yourself feel better, or you think that losing weight is going to make you happy, any of that kind of shit, then you really, really need to be getting help. Because if you wait until it's like critical, been going on for years and years and years, or it gets to a point where you're going to have to go into A&E and be on a drip and shit like that, it's going to be so much harder to get better. Believe me, it's going to be so much harder. And a lot of the time people only actually get help when it's already a chronic illness, and they're going to struggle with it for pretty much the rest of their life, and you don't want to get into this like revolving door syndrome where you go into hospital, you gain the weight, or you stop your binge purge behaviours, or you, if you need to, you lose the weight, and then you get out and it all spirals and goes back to normal, and then you go into another hospital, and over and over and over again for years and years and years. And I don't want that to happen to you. Whoever you are, if you're struggling with this, I just do not want that to happen to you, because it's not worth it. And I just encourage you to get help as soon as you can. Yeah. I am very aware that my brother's playing the piano in the background, and that's really annoying, but there really isn't much I can do about that. I've just closed my bedroom door, but there's not that much I can do. The other thing I was going to talk about was how to get help. So I'm going to talk about that more in specifics of living in the UK or England or whatever. I would go to your doctor or GP or whatever and tell them what's going on. Just try and be really honest and say, make it clear what you want. Say, I want to see someone who specialises in this, be that, be that a mental health nurse, psychiatrist, dietitian, therapist, just basically someone who specialises in eating disorders. And yeah, I would do that. And then see where it goes from there. I mean, if you're going through NHS, which most people will be prepared. It might be quite a long wait list, especially for like individual psychotherapy and stuff like that. Or if you want to go into inpatient or daycare, or if they think that's necessary, it might be quite a long wait list. So just be prepared for that, because it can be quite a long time. But, you know, obviously I had a bad experience with CAMHS, but I know a lot of people who've got treatment through the NHS and they found it amazing, be that CAMHS or the adult services. So don't be put off by that. Obviously I was in private treatment. Well, I was with CAMHS and then I was in private treatment, and now I'm having to go back to the NHS again. And so far from just having my assessment on the NHS, I was like really, really impressed. They were so good, and the woman I saw actually used to work at the Priory and knows my psychiatrist and knows a lot of the people there. So she's been in the private sector and public health sector as well. So when to get help, to sum it up basically, when to get help, as soon as you think there's a problem. As soon as you think there's a problem. It's never too early to get help. I think people acknowledge it's never too late to get help, but they don't quite acknowledge it's never too early to get help. And the second thing is how to get help. Just be honest. Be completely honest. Don't be ashamed of it, and don't think, oh, they're not going to take me seriously because I'm not thin enough and stuff like that. If they are trained properly or know anything about eating disorders, they are going to take you seriously, whether your weight's 180 pounds or 80 pounds. You know, it doesn't fucking matter, basically, and I cannot stress that enough. Yeah, and the other thing is good luck. If you're going to go and seek help, good luck with it, and if you are in help and treatment, I hope it's going okay, and keep requesting videos, because I'm going to try and make some more. Okay, bye.